The mayor of Portland, Oregon, has directed the city's police chief to investigate friendly text messages between a lieutenant and the leader of a far-right group that some officials say confirms collusion, a criticism later mocked by the group's leader. But other officials and activists concerned about the texts say Mayor Ted Wheeler needs to order an independent investigation, and not one headed by Portland Police Chief Danielle Outlaw. Having an entity investigate itself sets up an unfair result, said Gregory McKelvey, an organizer with the activist group Portland's Resistance. There's already a mistrust of the police chief and how this bureau has dealt with right-wing protesters. Wheeler's concern over the texts, which he calls disturbing, comes after a report Thursday in the Willamette Week that highlights the correspondence between Joey Gibson, the leader of Patriot Prayer, and Portland Police Lieutenant Jeff Niiya, the commander of the department's Rapid Response Team. The pair shared messages in 2017 and 2018 that were joking at times, but also raised concerns that police give Patriot Prayer and members preferential treatment, even though they have been involved in violent clashes with anti-fascist protesters. Wheeler said he was concerned because it was exactly those demonstrations led by Gibson that have caused significant disruption and increased fear in our community. The mayor also said the texts appeared across several boundaries and raised questions about whether warrants are being enforced consistently and what information is being shared with individuals who may be subject to arrest. Portland police did not immediately respond to a request for comment Friday. The release of the texts come a week after the city introduced a resolution condemning white supremacy and alt-right hate groups. Gibson's Patriot Prayer, based in the Portland suburb of Vancouver, Washington, says it is not a white nationalist organization and believes in gun rights and defending the Second Amendment. Its rallies, however, have drawn interest from white supremacists and white nationalists, and has led to police using pepper spray and flashbang grenades to break up the brawls with counter-protesters. The Portland police has been criticized for its use of force against counter-protesters. McKelvey, who was previously arrested by officers at a demonstration, said the department already gives the appearance of being against counter-protesters because they often face them when they line up, while putting their backs to the far-right groups. I don't think it would be beyond anybody's imagination that police might want to have a friendly correspondence with right-wing organizations to collect information. However, it crosses a line when you re-tipping off those organizers to when new leftist organizations are being formed, to where leftist protesters are or how its members can avoid arrest, McKelvey said. I've attended these rallies and I've never been tipped off. In one text exchange from December 2017, Niiya asked Gibson about one of his members, two Satalatis, who had been involved in fights at rallies and had a warrant out for his arrest on a disorderly conduct charge. Niiya told Gibson that officers ignored the warrant at a previous demonstration, but to make sure that didn't he do anything at the next one which may draw our attention, according to the Willamette Week. If he still has the warrant in the system I don't run you guys so I don't personally know the officers could arrest him, Niiya wrote. I don't see a need to arrest on the warrant unless there is a reason. Tease, however, was arrested during a protest in Portland's downtown that same month when he struck a counter-protester, reported the Oregonian. In response to Niiya's guidance, Portland Police Lieutenant Tina Jones told the Willamette Week that it is not uncommon for officers to provide guidance for someone to turn themselves in on a warrant if the subject is not present. In another message, when Gibson told Niiya last year that he was planning to run for Congress representing the state of Washington, Niiya responded, "You're sick running for office. Good for you. County level?" Gibson ran for Senate, but lost in the Republican primary. James Alfsink, another organizer with Portland's Resistance, said the texts between Niiya and Gibson, as well as the release of Niiya's work emails related to Gibson, are a real smoking gun that exhibit favoritism. Tease, however, was arrested during a protest in Portland's downtown that same month when he struck a counter-protester, reported the Oregonian. In response to Niiya's guidance, Portland Police Lieutenant Tina Jones told the Willamette Week that it is not uncommon for officers to provide guidance for someone to turn themselves in on a warrant if the subject is not present. In another message, when Gibson told Niiya last year that he was planning to run for Congress representing the state of Washington, Niiya responded, "You're sick running for office. Good for you. County level?" Gibson ran for Senate, but lost in the Republican primary. James Alfsink, another organizer with Portland's Resistance, said the texts between Niiya and Gibson, as well as the release of Niiya's work emails related to Gibson, are a real smoking gun that exhibit favoritism.